I was thinking about if I had a program that made a menu before, and I recalled that this thing, the horse animation program, uses a menu. So I went to see how that was implemented. Let me just show you. If you haven't seen this before, if you don't recall, this shows some animation, a particular type of animation, and these little boxes have a menu. You can change the direction or pause the animation. Resume, and so on. So I already have something that works with menus, and I looked in here, and I saw that, sorry, this header file, those little boxes, these boxes are windows like the TS windows on their own. See, they're derived from TS window, and apparently I already have a menu type object defined somewhere. So one of my control things. It's a control, standard control, and it has a particular append function, and the way it's used in here is where I set it up. What was it called? M menu. Okay, well I can see that I'm not doing any setting up in here or here. Now it may be I've used a resource. We don't need to use a resource. Yeah, I think I have. Yeah, right. I just called it options. In a real window, a window that had a title bar, you would see an options and then those three selections, right? But because there's no title bar, you don't see the options bit, but you can still run the menu. And to get the menu running, it has a function called track popup. Now, this says right button. I wonder why it says that. Because when I select these things, I'm selecting them. Right button brings it out, but when I select, I'm not using them. Oh, right button works too. Seems like both buttons. I don't want that effect. Let me just try left. I only want the left button for selecting items in that menu. Let's see if this, hopefully this will do it. Otherwise I have to do a little research. Okay, but the right button's not doing anything. Left button works. Okay. So that's the way I should have had it. Okay. That bug has been fixed. So you call track popup, and it takes some flags and an H-wing, the H-wing being the window here, in this case, the animator window, main window. And how it works is, you know how buttons, when you if you add a button to a dialogue or something, each one is associated with an ID, and the ID comes in through a WM command message as exactly like this, the low word of the W command, message being WM command, and the menu works in exactly the same way. So it's like having a whole bunch of buttons, grouping a whole bunch of buttons into a menu. And apparently that's all that happens by the time this thing finishes. And I don't know what happens when you hit the escape key, probably nothing. Maybe it'll assert. Didn't assert. Didn't get anything. The reason you can see when I hit resume, let's say resume here, I got a WM command and the low word was that. And it's a great big, and these are great big numbers. I don't know why they choose these great big numbers. So that's one way we could do it, but that's not really what we want, because we want to be able to add strings on the fly. So in our thing, whoops. We want to do a similar thing. So we need, we're going to use that object. I'll give it the same name as that other thing. Now this doesn't take any resource in its constructor. The other one, when constructing it, it took a resource identifier here. We don't have any resource associated with our menu. So let's see if there's anything available. Okay, now I've only got one constructor which takes an identifier. So maybe I need a default. Now I did some searching through the usual place, where to steal code from, MFC, and let's see, they have a C menu class. And let's just see what its constructor takes. Destructor. Okay, and its constructor, it doesn't take anything at all. So if they can manage it, we can manage it. Okay. Where was that? Here. No. Here. Oh, I'm looking at it. Create menu and create pop-up menu. Okay. Do I do that? I don't create anything, right? The creation's happening through this resource. So I want to find the code for this create menu. So that's exactly the same function as you would call to create a menu without any special classes. And what does that do? It returns a handle. Can be filled with items using insert, blah blah blah. It seems pretty easy. All you gotta do is call that function. So I think we can add this function to our class. Now what does this do? No, that's different. What does this do? Oh, that's another API function. It also doesn't take anything. Initially empty, you can assign. So what's the difference between this and the last one? I think maybe we want this one. Oh. Maybe create menu is for this. And pop-up menu, yeah, that's gotta be it. So this, I think, is what we want. So we've got that. So we just call it. In the constructor, we can call that. Or the tray test. We're in tray test. Why am I not? Why is it? Oh, I need. We need controls. I thought that was included in here. It is included. Just to compile. That should compile. Already defined or declared. Where? Okay, well, it's declared. We don't need to. It's just declared through that. Oh no, but that's private. I don't want that. I need to. I want this, just this part. This is sort of non-standard. One is using resources and one is not. But I'm going to define control and name. To the implement. Oh. How about this? No func, even though there is a func. Okay. So for menu, I don't want that. I don't want this. I want to do it separately. I want it public. I should compile again. But this will be, there won't be anything underneath that. And I wonder if it's supposed to do. It contains a handle, so we should set that to no. Right? And then now create Popup returns the handle. Cannot access private. I was very careful to make all these things private. Oh, it better be at least protected. Is it implemented? No. Probably not implemented. It's not. Yeah, that's why. So if I just got rid of it completely, it'll take the default. What is the default do? Oh, H-blend. No, we gotta do this part. We gotta at least do this part. And we don't have an ID. So this is all based on the idea of a dialogue. But we're not dealing with a dialogue here. We have no controls. So it's irrelevant. The control identifier is irrelevant in our case. It could be the that funny ID number if we had more than one. Alright, so that means we have a thing now. We've done create Popup, and we want to add. I want to add something to the menu. Append the flags. What I want to add are all the strings that we have. Let's pretend we have no string. Well, let's pretend we have one string. Some file name. And now I want the flags for adding a string. I think I have a function just for string. ID, it requires an identifier. See, we don't want IDs coming back, we want strings coming back. Now the identifier could be the pointer to the string, but I don't think that's how it works. I'm going to hit pause and try and figure this out. Okay, I'm getting somewhere. Not figured it out completely yet, but now in the case of the animator. Because I used the resource thing, the menu items that I was adding were not being, wherever they're added, they get added through the resource editor, and they were added as a sub-menu to that options menu. So in that case, this function had to be used. Track pop-up menu, get sub-menu. I still want to use this function. I don't know what to call it. But this should really be called track sub-menu. And this track pop-up. I don't want to break everything. So I just added track menu instead of track pop-up, which doesn't have the right meaning. I mean, the word isn't correct. But anyway, I'll change the wording. And now in my WM create, I created, instead of the constructor, I created the pop-up, which again doesn't take any parameters. It's sort of independent of the h-wind or everything. And I appended 3 strings, and the way you append a string is this way, each having an identifier. Now I assume that when I click one of those things that I'm going to get a WM command message. In fact, let's put on the debug trace. Turn debug trace on. We need a filter. I forget. I need a better name for that because I can never remember it. Add filter. We don't want any non-client messages. We don't want mouse move. Or anything to do with the mouse. Let's see what we get in that case. Let's see what messages come into our window. We're getting a whole bunch. Okay. Underscore NC. What else? We get rid of that. Set cursor. Still getting something. It's pretty stable. Now, those might be these are definitely going in there. Problem is they're all the same. See, the menu selections are being sent, even if I didn't click it. It's gone. Okay, so enter item, we don't want that. This is, oh, WMAP. Why am I getting all this stuff? Oh, because if there are mouse moves. Yeah, it's true. Okay, we'll take that out. Can I take it out? List of filters. I don't know if it'll take maybe as a string, maybe. No. Oh wait, no, it's working. Alright, oh no, it's not working. There. Alright, anyway, I'm going to click here, I'm going to select one. Now, there's a WM command. It wasn't, here it is. Okay, now that would have been the identifier of the message. So that's not so hard. If we get a WM command, what we do is start at 4001, say. So we'll have a list of strings, and we'll give them each an identifier starting from this number upwards, since apparently that's typically what other people use for those numbers. And then if we have an array of those strings, we can remap those numbers back to the appropriate string, right? So let me make an array of strings. Right, and well, this will be a constant. And then maybe ID string, menu string, there. What's that? Okay, and somehow we'll load this array of strings. Let's suppose we do that here. I'll just add those same strings for now. We'll save them eventually, maybe in the registry or something. What do I call it? Stir array. String array or array of strings? R string. It should be R, the type first. Actually, they're not strings, they're paths. So now I'll put 3 things in that array. And that's the value there. So we, again, there's a different array, that's one iterate array. There's another for this kind of array. I'm pretty sure I defined TS array. index layer. And for each of those, we want to start from the identifier for the 0th string plus index HS index, right? Okay, so assume we read in from the registry a list of strings. We add them all to that menu. Now, if we get a WM command message, and if it's bigger than or equal to that, this low word, I think. Now I want to indicate that I found the right string. Message box. No, it's safe. So it's mr paths of the low word w param minus that. Gotta make sure. It's in the range of our thing. Still handle. Caption. String number %d. And that's this value. Just as a test. Alright. Now I got too many here. Int pointer to uint pointer. You think this one's a component. Uint to int. One's complaining about one direction, the other's complaining about the other. It's gotta be this. Plus equals. I probably didn't add. I wouldn't have, it's true. You've got to cast it. Cannot convert from to TS string. Oh! So assuming those were paths, and that we took them out of the registry, and I click here, and I select one, and there it is, that's the one I selected. And that's 2012. So now we've got a thing here, which we can select things from. And also what I want to add is a bar. You can add a bar to a menu. What I want to do is I want to add these strings, and then I want to add a bar. And that's MF separator. And I shouldn't really need an identifier. The UID specifies a handle. Whoops, wrong one. Drop down menu, the line cannot be gray. Other parameters ignored. And so 0, 0. And then I want to append one more string. New. Oops, MF string. New. And now I need an identifier. It's not going to be in this array. But that's the thing, to go and browse and add a new thing. So what value would we give that? The maximum number, we could have a maximum. Let's say 9. So at most we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. We can have at most 6. That's not very many, is it? Let's say 12. That would be 11 things. 12 things. If it's inclusive, 2. If this goes 1 and 2, then So 13 would be the 13th item. So 12 items plus a separator at most. And then we'll put a limit here. I'll cut that off. So that allows us to have one more string at position this, whatever number I set it to, containing the string new, and then there'll be a separator. Now, we get so either this value is the separator, I mean it's not the separator, but the new index for the new it'll be that index exactly, right? This is a relative thing. Okay. So either it's the new thing, or if it's not, this difference has to be less than that size. And the first case is true. Otherwise that. So the next block. That's it. Now initially, you should just see the separator. Okay. Now it ended up on the bottom. Here's the right number. So as I'm adding them, it's going down. I see, because it's like this kind of menu. So I got to do everything in reverse, sort of. But there you go. It's pretty much that's pretty much, we've got this thing done now. Just a matter of storing the information and well, look at that again. Is that bad to have new here? It's not that bad, really. I was thinking that new could be on the top, but yeah, no, new should be on the top. We gotta go backwards because you're too likely to hit new by accident. Maybe not. Yeah, I can leave it like that. Okay. Just thought I'd tack this on the end here. I went with this on the bottom, and just fix up that class a little bit so that these are going to go 0, 1, 2. This is the new, even though it's changing its number. I always know which number that is. I added a thing that translates internally from the menu thing to an index. So I know if it's the last index, I think I've called this like the array thing. What's the array thing called? Whatever that function is, it tells you the last available entry. Now for exit, I use a right click and it should exit. Yeah. All I did was make another pop. It's a totally separate pop-up, and I've just made it identifier one more than you could get out of the main menu. So the only problem with this, and I'm not sure how to fix it, is if you bring up one of these menus and click away, it's still there. To really get rid of it, you've got to click on the window itself. You kind of have to click twice. See, one click here means that now that I've brought the focus to this, but it may not matter for our program because there won't be a main window. It'll be hidden. We'll still have that feature, so let's see. Yeah, it seems to work. Of course, I don't know how to get rid of that now. I can only quit. Now these things I can get rid of that way. So there must be some way to find out, and I'll try and figure that out. Some way to get out of that menu. Okay.